Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to my friends across the pond. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Welcome to the Ticker Highlight Show. I'd like to remind you that we're here every week. Our four traders go through our best idea for a bull this week and one stock maybe not to love. And then we wrap up with a trade idea. I'd like to welcome everybody for being here. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I watched the wildest football game I have ever watched in my life on Sunday. The Bears versus the Bengals was one of the craziest outcomes that I have ever seen in my life. Only and normally it's a game the Bears lose, folks. The Bears are up 14 with under 3 minutes to go. Somehow managed to give up the lead, giving up 15 points in under 2 minutes. And then with 55 seconds left, managed to march down the field and score a touchdown. Final score 47-42, 89 points in a football game, folks. It was the wildest 3 minutes I've ever seen. And I've never, and I mean never, seen the Bears come out on top of one of those games. The team is 0-50 in its last 50 games where it gave up 30 points. So, anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. Those of you that are football fans, you don't even have to like the Bears or the Bengals to watch that game. It was wild. Anywho, speaking of wild, let's take a look at the stock market as it's been all over the place. Now, I made a comment over the weekend. You know, we had this nice gap up on Monday, and then a whole lot of chop. On the week, the S&P 500 actually closed slightly below its gap open. So, yeah, we ended up on the week, but not in a place of strength. Then we come in today, you can see the S&P is up about 3, but it is all NASDAQ, and it's primarily being pushed by Amazon, which is just signed a data center, a cloud computing deal with ChatGPT. ChatGPT, of course, is just created a for-profit arm. The for-profit arm is going to be owned by its non-profit arm, kind of primarily, but also Microsoft and a few others. But if you look at the whole, you can see S&P just went red. Dow was down. So most of the market is red. It's just Amazon and, a few of these high-tech names, CrowdStrike, that are kind of pulling us higher. Hans's favorite, Micron, is up 4.6%. But across the board, things don't look super bullish today, as most of the market is red. XLK is up 0.25%. Consumer discretionary, which Amazon is in, is up 1%. And then look at my other sector ETFs here, folks. Maybe it's hard to see, but it starts here with XBI and goes down to XRT with XOM kind of hidden in there. And XRT is down, XLV, XLU, XLP, XLI, XLF, XLE, XLC, XLB, which is materials. The builders are down, and biotechs are down. So, yes, the S&P is flat and the NASDAQ is up, but as a whole, the market is down today, and I continue to think that there's some down. For those of you keeping score, I continue to believe that Bitcoin is your best indicator for risk on, risk off. I do see some other risks in the crypto space, which we're going to be talking about as the week progresses. But I don't love that, Bitcoin sells off, gets kind of a little moderate rally, sells right back down to those lows, gets like a little blip higher, and rolls right back over. And so for those of you kind of keeping an eye on markets as a whole, watch crypto. It's a little bit good. Now, today, I talked to you about how much I like Amazon. Earnings were great. Everything was great. I was saying I think the stock is going to go to $300. Could have used this news tomorrow. Could have used this ChatGPT news tomorrow because then I would be enjoying this $11 run up. Another name though that reported on Friday or on Thursday that I like that had a nice day on Friday is Reddit. It's hanging around $205. Last time it had a really good earnings, it went off on an absolute tear. This was another set of good earnings. All the metrics were great. And a little bit of selling into those earnings, but it'll pop out. I continue to like this one higher and believe that at some point it's going to be good. On the other side,
cut off a little bit, Mark. I don't know if that's me or
I don't know. Am I?
Yeah.
Getting cut off a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was me, but yeah, you are.
All right. Well, here I'll talk more into the. It's just when I turn my head, sometimes I've got my microphone's a little too sensitive. Anyway, I really like Reddit higher, and I think this is a good buy and hold. And I think it at any point in time where it's post earnings gets a little pop, there's usually an opportunity to trade it from the bull side. Historically, on the downside, I continue to look at these defense stocks. LMT, another disappointing earnings, has been dead money since those earnings came out. But LMT, General Dynamics, Raytheon. Raytheon looks a little better than the other two. Northrop Grumman would be another one to look at. These defense stocks might finally be starting to roll over. I thought they've been overvalued for some time, notably Lockheed. And I am wondering whether there's a trip down to the 200-day moving average at 460 for these names, which would be a nice $20, $25 move lower. So I am bullish. I'm still bullish Amazon. I would have liked it to have waited a day before they made this announcement. I'm bullish Reddit, and I am bearish defense stocks. Notably, I think Lockheed and General Dynamics both look interesting as potential short. So with that in mind, let's pass this one. Let's pass the baton to our own head of Turbo Income, the head of income trading here at Option Pit. He is Hans J. Albrecht. Hans, Saturday, all of us were Canadians. I am in a knowing the other side of that picture with the 2016 Cubs and being friends with many Cleveland fans. Yeah. I understand how rough your weekend was, and I'm sorry. Everybody that's not a Dodgers fan was rooting for the Blue Jays. So, hopefully you guys get another crack.
No.
Sorry.
For the Dodgers?
American all the way, guys. Sorry.
Some of us grew up with the Dodgers. Mr. Cubs.
We were all.
Pig came out of Chicago.
Anybody who likes baseball that isn't a Dodgers fan was rooting for.
I disagree with that.
The Dodgers. I mean, I think the baseball's a little like they got $1 billion roster with pitchers. So, and they do have probably the greatest player ever to play the game on their team. However, they're Dodgers. So, whatever.
All right. So there you go.
Is that where this guy's going? Is that Ohtani? Is he going to be the greatest player ever? Is he just like unbelievable?
I don't know. He looks pretty good to me.
Yeah,
I don't even watch sports anymore, but I watch that guy.
He's 31 years old, so he is going to have maybe the greatest 5-year stretch, but he's not He may have the highest excellence over a short period of time, but I don't know if he's going to go down as the greatest player ever.
Right.
He's
So
exciting.
anyway, Hans,
exciting.
I'm sorry about your Jays.
Yeah.
I was rooting for him. My son Mark was rooting for him.
It was an amazing game. It was an amazing game, but look, what can you do? You can't strand that many players. I mean, that pitcher shut us down. And they just hit homers at the right times. They were clutch and we weren't. We couldn't drive anybody in with the bases loaded. We couldn't close it out. We didn't deserve it. Anyway, onward and upward. I remember the last time they won in '93, and I was like, it would have been fun to win one in front of my kids. I didn't have kids back then, and it would have been exciting. Anyway, yeah. So back to markets. You guys don't want to hear us wax poetically about baseball. So yeah, I think I think markets are a little kind of bifurcated here. I don't want to go over too much. Mark already did, but it's some of my calls which have been hiding in the data stocks, which I don't think Mark you mentioned, but some of these data stocks, the Palantirs, the Snows, have done really, really well. And then Google and Apple have been my two mags to hide in, even though Tesla's been doing well as well, although we do have a trade on that in Turbo Income. But anyway, it is a bit bifurcated. And if you look at the XLU, it's kind of, coming off a little bit. And it's, that's kind of the whole power narrative is very important, but the market's not feeling it. So it's at the moment, I think it's a little bit out of higher beta plays, and people are just hiding in mag right now, which is where the earnings are almost guaranteed to be. I mean, they're spending a lot of money, but I think people just find that when all else fails, you plow, and you have every reason to. I mean, Google and Amazon, incredible numbers. I'm sure Nvidia's will be amazing as well. So anyway, so my pick on that note, my one to love this week is Google. So I've been harping on this, how they're basically kind of the best AI stock out there. They're sort of the best at everything. And 6 months ago, I was negative on it, but flipped at some point and I said, look, these guys do everything. Everything ChatGPT is doing, Google kind of already does in a sense. And they already have the 25 years of data. They have YouTube, which is exploding. I've said that's the greatest asset in the world. As you see people create more content, it's just going to go right to YouTube. It is the most amazing asset. And guess what? It belongs to Google, and that's more data, and that's special data because it's video. I mean, these guys are just in everything. And I think what's happened is they've re-rated from, search is in trouble to search is not in trouble. So that changes everything, right? When you get back on track in search, you go from being a 17 multiple to probably a 33, 35 multiple, given where they're going. So I really love that stock. I think you can, I believe you can buy it on dips. And I think Amazon's kind of almost re-rating that way too, because they were worried about cloud, but that's another story. That's no longer a worry. So now that is put in a new light. My one to leave is, I don't know if you guys have heard this, of this company, Robert Half. They basically are a staffing company. And so what do we have with AI? Well, we have job issues. And it's not so much that we don't think there will be lots of people looking for jobs, but the way these guys make money is they pay, the companies pay them, right? So if the companies aren't really looking, these guys don't get paid. I have no doubt there will be many people looking, but that's not the way they operate. And so in my view, that's going to be a difficult backdrop for Robert Half, which is ticker symbol RHI. And so I don't think they're going to do well. In my view, the glass is not half full.
Yeah, I don't think Robert Half is an expert in like the temp jobs that a lot of these companies are going to demand, right? They're usually working on like outsourced CFOs, counting, things like that. I do like your call here, and I love Google. That's been kind of I thought that one has been undervalued for a while. They seem to have gotten it right with what they screwed up with Bard. They seem to have gotten right with Gemini. So good job, Google. But yeah, Robert Half, ugly chart, kind of ugly everything. Makes good rev, makes money, pays a nice dividend. But again, I think I think you are right. There is some real risk around Robert Half. Where there is never risk is with our own Viking of volatility, Andrew T. Giovinazzi, who is here to discuss a couple of interesting names that he's been focusing on, and I'm excited to hear about his take on one of the other Mag 7s from last week, and then clearly a name that I think we all know stinks. So, Andrew, take it away.
I want to report my chicken coop is officially done. The doors
All right.
painted. So look for somewhere on our YouTube channel. Justin will jazz up the whole building process of the chicken coop. Anyway, it kind of looks like a mini version of our house. It's like a mini me house.
It's your man cave. That's your chicken cave. You're gonna hang out in there. You're gonna
well, we clean it out, so it's not anyway.
Big screen TV. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I got to deal with my mother wanting to put heat lamps in it for the wintertime.
You could put her in there. That's right.
Companies, yeah, and then Blue Dog saying Portillo's. Portillo's with the rest of these, it hurts me. Although I would eat at Portillo's one day a week if it was in Maine. By the way,
Yes,
it is
minimum.
Like I just like when I lived in Chicago, it was ridiculous. Like they just should have given me a chauffeur-driven car to just pick me up and drive me to get a beef sandwich with a sausage in it, like with peppers.
Oh, the combo. It's
still like a dream. Anyway, we're not talking about Portillo's right now. Although I did buy more stock below $6, but that's a totally separate thing. This is the time. Don't do what I do. Just stay away from it until it starts going back.
Is it better than Chipotle?
Chipotle.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what I'm drawing the parallel to Chipotle with? Drop in quality. One thing like Portillo's doesn't have, I mean, right now, basically all fast casual, whatever, they're just selling them. And the problem with Chipotle, I believe, is, again, I'm going to look here at a one-year chart, is, again, volatility is still relatively high after the stock has sold off big and is just sitting down here like a lump on a log. I do not believe that is a good recipe. High vol post earnings is generally bad. It's still hanging up here. Like if the market was cool with where it was, we'd have lower volatility. I believe there's more to go in Chipotle. Mostly quality. The quality has gone down. And you know what people are doing now? They're bailing.
Yeah, I mean, quality has gone down. And prices have
still rules.
Quality has gone down. Prices have gone up. It's like how long can you reduce quality and raise prices before it finally catches up to you?
Right.
Chipotle appears to have found that level.
And reduce size too, Mark. I noticed at McDonald's, the medium fries has gotten smaller. I know, different business, but this shrinkflation is kind of annoying.
Yeah, and like, what are you guys doing? And people are just going to stop buying it. So I just want to remind everybody, Cracker Barrel, right, went through similar problems. Like Cracker Barrel used to be a place like and I use this as a parallel, like doesn't matter how low it got, it keeps going lower, right? And sadly enough, Portillo's, even though they said like poor traffic and stuff like that, they actually had, well, we'll see soon here, but they actually have a better earnings picture than these companies do. But anyway, but I'm just saying Cracker Barrel is kind of a quality. The quality has gone down, and just putting a facelift on the stores wasn't enough. And I think Chipotle, until they right the ship, I would stay away from Chipotle. I think we're going to see some lows in that. I think we're going to see the 20 handle in there, like $27, $28 within the next couple weeks. Because they're buying all tech stocks, right? They're buying where the safe money is. And I think Hans made a good point. Like when everybody's freaking out, like with this government shutdown thing, where's everybody going? They're going to Amazon. They're going to go to Google. They're going to go to all the big tech where they felt safe. Just like after the COVID thing, we started that rally out of the bottom. They all went to where, money went to where they felt safe. Okay, and then on the flip side, what do I think? Here we go. Meta. This is like again, I think the Mag 7 at this point, you buy the crappiest, the one that's doing the worst, because it will do better. Amazon was the same way. I think Amazon was my long pick, last week? Did pretty good. Or the week before. I bought shares, still holding on to it. Talked about it in Flash 7 on Friday. And of course, it's up like $15 today. We did not put a position on those. So it's a little annoying for that product. However, I think I like Meta to go higher. We'll be talking about it in Rip Zone today. But again, I think it's an opportunity. Now, here's another one, though, where you're not seeing the historic drops in volatility in the longer term that we normally do, which I find troubling in general. So Chipotle, I think a little bit, but similar reasons. Like maybe the jury is still out somewhat on Meta from a pricing point of view. I still like to lean long, be long this one. So I bought more shares of the stock last week. I even sold a couple of put spreads. I like this to go higher. And again, value of data for all of these companies seems to be only going up. Recall a stock like Reddit. I don't know if Reddit's on anybody's list, but Reddit is making money hand over fist. It's down today, but again, it's another one of these stocks where the data is going to win. So my longs here are Meta. I know it got a little rambling in my shorts. Stay away from Chipotle. I don't think you want to be grabbing that at these levels, or really, to be honest, any restaurant stock.
I concur. All right, so there we've got Reddit we've got Meta, which is kind of not a fallen angel. They still are very well valued at $1.6 billion, but it's definitely taken a little bit of a kneecapping. And CMG, let's kick it to our chief of charting, our own Queen of the Candles, otherwise known, but simply the Ticker Highlight Show's queen. She is Leisha J. Leslie. Leisha, what are you looking at today?
Good morning, everyone. I wrote on Tuesday to go long Marvell, held my median line, and sure enough, traded exactly where I said it would, right to my resistance. So I hope people were able to glom onto that and make some money. Right now, I wouldn't go long it. It hit my target and has reversed. So this happens when you write earlier in the week, right? I wrote that up on Tuesday. So I was right, but it's over. My short, my pumpkin was ARM. ARM also hit my target, the 21-day moving average. So, and it has earnings coming up. So ARM is out of the running now also. But had you read my write-up, hopefully people...
You would have made money on both sides.
Yes. 2 A+, Christian.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that email, Christian.
I know. Get
the
that
last 2
scorecard
weeks
up
and
there,
you had
Christian.
A+. You better get that email out. Anyway, I'm giving Christian the business. I like your shorts in GD, Mark.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think GD has some room to fall here. Look at how great it traded right to the top of the pitchfork. And now it's in this newer channel. You'll get some support down at the 50-day and then the median line. Right now it is trading below the 21-day.
Mm-hmm.
LMT too, but I think it has a little more support here closer. So I kind of like GD better, but I think this is going to fall too. I think it's consolidating here for its next leg lower. You like to Reddit higher. I would stay away. It's consolidating here. And option buying, we don't want to see sideways action. This has been sideways since October 1st.
Okay.
So I would wait for it to move, even though, yeah, this is way up here at 227, but I would wait for it to at least trade 214. I think it's sideways. Chipotle, yeah, I agree, Andrew. It has some room lower. I like the bigger defense stocks lower though, better.
Google.
Meta. So
Oh, yeah,
Andrew,
Meta.
the rules with gapping. Once you gap and stay in the gap area, and all my clients, my members here, we just had this lesson on Tuesday and Friday. Generally, almost always, you continue in the same direction.
Uh-oh.
And a breakaway gap like this is a highly significant chart signal. So I would wait on Meta. You got to wait for Meta to clear the 200-day and show you that it's going to start closing that gap.
It might be more interesting for like a put sale or a put spread or a
Yeah.
I sold the
something along
600
those
puts.
lines than
I didn't do
than a
anything
call
close to
buy.
money.
Right. Hans said, oops, Google.
Goggle.
Google and Robert Half.
Google, I do like Google. It looks like it attempted to close the gap here. A lot of times the stock needs to close a gap before it can continue in the same direction. I love that it's holding my support on the pitchfork here, which follows very nicely, as you can see, each touch point. Yeah, I think Google, and this was like $1.65. So on a $280 stock, $1.65, I think you can say, yeah, close that gap. I like it to be back to 291, and after, as we always say, trade 290, you're going to trade 300. So yeah, I like Google here. I would keep a tight stop loss though, because this bearish candle reversal, you don't want these to be spinning tops and bear flagging down to 272. So I love that it's holding this, but we also don't want sideways action and then another leg lower. I agree with you here. This is an ugly chart. My pitchfork comes in down here 22.12, or I'm sorry, 22.14. So yeah, a couple more dollars at the very least in RHI.
Yeah, it's hard to believe how bad it looks.
Yeah.
It looks terrible.
Yeah.
Just ugly. So I would go with General Dynamics. The markets don't look that good for an options trade. They're a little bit wide, so we'd have to kind of work a bit on there.
Yeah.
There is option flow. It just has wide markets today. But I like that one. And then Google, I like it as well. I'm just very hesitant to go long something with kind of the way the market is behaving right now.
Yeah.
So we might have to just kind of work something in General Dynamics and see what we can do. The markets are wide, but if we put in if we put out a reasonable, it's got weekly. So if there is a reasonable trade idea, it'll work. So I'm looking at, the three.
Ooh, these are wide. What the hell?
Yeah.
$1.50 wide.
I know, it's kind of ridiculous.
What? We weren't allowed to do that.
I was about to say, Leisha, some days you look at some of these markets and you're like, yeah, I like to.
Yeah, to be a market maker, $1.50 wide all day.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm looking at the November 335 put for less than 370 as a potential trade. I don't think that'll fill as difficult as we can. The alternative is Robert Half, which does have liquid markets. We can buy the 25 put in December for only $1.70.
Yeah, I have to say, Mark,
with
too,
Leisha's
that
target
TD
down to
ball
220. That's going to be an easier one for everybody to get in.
Yeah.
And and maybe that makes the most sense. I mean, the Novembers, if you think we can get there by November 25th or 21st, the November 25 puts are only, less than 90 cents.
Yeah.
GDs definitely will be harder to exit, but option prices are relatively low with the stock as high as it is. It's kind of sets up kind of nice.
All right. Well, we'll put people on we're going to make this one a tough one. I'm going to, again, I want to pay less than 370. We're going to go with General Dynamics, folks. So when you've got a less liquid stock, you just have to be patient. You have to let the stock come to you. Don't try and force it. Don't try and chase. Be patient. If you aren't patient, the market makers will take you for a ride and you will be unhappy. So we're going to look at the November 335 put. I want to pay less than 370. I'll be throwing this one on, and that is trade 90. What? No. 34. Oh, typo. All right, 35. I got to go and fix one of these. My target's going to be 6. So I'm going to put this open. I will let everybody know when I'm exiting.
General Dynamics.
And what I like about the trade is, I'm not paying too much. Those puts relative to this, I know they sound expensive at 370, but relative to the stock price, they are inexpensive.
1% of the value.
Yeah.
Pretty low.
That is not expensive. So I am dropping the trade in there so that everybody can see. And we're buying the November 21st, 2025, 335 for about 370 in General Dynamics.
Well, didn't we have a Tesla double long last week?
Oh, they absolutely crushed it. Yeah.
That was a freaking killer trade, by the way.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
Just saying.
All right, everybody. Reminder: the deadline to join Delta Strike at the special monthly price ends today at noon. If you have not signed up, make that a point. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave us a question or comment, throw us a stock idea, and we'll start taking a look at it. All right, everybody. So for Andrew T. Giovinazzi, president of Option Pit, Hans J. Albrecht, our head of income trading, and of course the queen, Leisha J. Leslie. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. We'll see you here at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, as we are here every single day. I'm Mark Sebastian, your only option. Have a great trading week.
Hey,
Have a good day, all.
You guys.
Applause.